understand the position of flats as well as sharp notes. Okay, so here's the rule. B and E do not have sharps. C and F do not have flats. So let's just look at notes with sharps first. So here are all the notes in the chromatic scale in terms of sharp notes. And B does not have a sharp, and E does not have a sharp. As you can see, there's no note in the middle of that, but there are notes in the middle of each of the other ones, which when we think about sharps, we're just going to call it sharp, because in music, the sharp is known as a higher pitch version of the note. While when we look at flats, flats come before the note. And like a flat tire is low in air, it's going to be a lower version of that note. So we have A flat and then A. We have B flat and then B. And as you can see, we don't have a C flat, but look right above that. We have no note in the middle of B to C. Whether we're looking at sharp or we're looking at flat, we have no note in the middle of B and C. And this is also on the piano. So there's no note in the middle of those two notes. However, from A to B, we do have a note in the middle. And here they're calling it B flat. But what I'm trying to show you here is that we can call this note B flat, or we can call it A sharp. And this is what is known as the enharmonics. Furthermore, we look down and we can see that a D flat is also a C sharp. And as you can see, a D is a D. The natural notes always line up. So let's look at that. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All those line up. Okay, the only difference is we're calling this note in the middle of an F and a G, for example, a G sharp here. We're calling this note in the middle of an F and G, an F sharp here. Why? Because in this case, we're going up one from the F, so we have F sharp. In this case, we're just going one down from the G, so we have G flat. So it's just another way to look at it. This is where music can get really confusing, but this is really good to understand, as a lot of times I'm explaining things and I'm saying, oh, I'm going from A to A sharp, and if you're looking at the screen, it's saying it's a B flat. So it's really good just to understand that, well, it is a B flat, but it's also an A sharp. So now let's kind of look at that in a different sort of way. I'm going to have A, B, C, D, E, F, G back to A written out here. I'm going to have the sharps written above, and I'm going to have the flats written below. So let's start from A and progress forward from there, because it can get kind of confusing if we just start on this one before. So let's start on A, and as you can see, we have a note coming after each one for the sharps, and then we have a note coming before the next note for each flats. And because of that, we go all the way down to here, and we reach the very end, where G brings us back to A again, which A was our beginning point. So let's look at that. We go from G to A. In sharps, we go G, G sharp, A. That makes perfect sense. And if we go from G to A thinking about flats, then we're going to go G, A flat, A. And I mean, that can make perfect sense when you're looking at this at the end. You're looking at, okay, G, and then it's A flat before A. However, when you're looking at the very beginning of this, and you're thinking about the note that comes before A, sometimes things can get a little confusing, and you got to really remember that a flat is just a lower version of that note. So you got to remember, okay, it's A flat and then A.